Welcome to our gentle stretch class, and we're going to be focusing today on the tree pose. That's our peak pose for the day, and I'm going to take you through lots of different sequences, some sun salutations today, because to help you warm your body up, to prepare you for your to be able to stand on one leg. And we need, one of the things about the tree pose is it's very much core strength, but also balance and also hip openers. So you get an arm strength, all in one. It's a really powerful, foundational standing pose, standing balance. Once you get the tree, you kind of sets the tone for more advanced ones. But the tree, if that's all you ever do as a standing balance, it's extremely powerful. And so that's what we're doing today. So that's I'll give you the mantra in a moment. Let's sit tall, nice and tall. Let's connect with our core muscles. Let's take a moment and begin to connect with the breath, but also that center of our core, which is our navel. Closing your eyes and take a few moments here to breathe in and out. So the mantra today is, I am patient. Let yourself experience what does patience feel like as you say the word. Normally it's a sense of calm and slowing down. Maybe even it's like this, you're giving yourself this permission to take things step by step, rather than feeling pressured. So for this practice, it's about being patient with everything you do. Let's take 2 more breaths. Be patient with how you breathe. Be patient with how your body feels today. And then gently flutter your eyelids, let your eyes open. And we're going to actually, if you're sitting on a big cushion, you can come off. We're going to take our right foot and cross it in front of our left foot. But what I want you to do, rather than crossing the ankles, can you cross your shins? So the front calf is touching the left shin until your feet are underneath your knees. So this is called a cow face variation. It's where I won't go into it, but this is a gentler version of a hip stretch or hip opener. So what we're doing here is you're going to take your hands behind and wiggle your bottom a little bit and just sweep the arms around, and then let your hands come forward in front of your shins, and slowly lower yourself down, but concentrating not as much on how low you can go. Feel the stretch in your hips. It's not about in terms of flexibility of how far you can get down, your chest down to the ground. It's really stretching out the hip joints. And then let's lift back up, and we're going to just switch the cross. So left foot, left calf in front of the right shin. Slide the feet, flex them, and then do the same. Come up nice and tall on your fingertips and sweep the hands forward, and then lower yourself down. Drop your head, feeling into those hip joints. And then let's slowly lift ourselves up, warming up for the tree pose, which is where one of your legs is out to the sides. And then let's come onto our hands and knees. We're going to do a few little sit back into your child's pose, reach your arms forward. Let's just wiggle our hips from side to side, loosening up your hips. and warming up your spine and your bottom, and then lift it back into your tabletop. Let's do 3 sets of cats and cows. Inhaling, opening up the heart, lifting the tailbone up to the sky, and exhaling, rounding through the spine. Patience. Inhale, that means slowing down and feeling as much of every move as you can. I don't care. You do exactly what feels right for you in these poses, where you're feeling the tightness and the discomfort. And then come back to your neutral spine. Curl the toes under. Now, some of us might be in this variation of this might be your downward dog variation in this position. Some of us are going to come into a downward dog. But before you do, I want you to lift your knees off the ground, a little bit off the ground, and hover, as we begin to wake up our tummy muscles, core muscles actually, more so than just the tummy. And then lower the knees down, just press back again. So stay here, don't move into your downward dog yet. Lift up and hover. If this is too much, don't hover. Or bring the knees a little higher, that might be easier for you. Now those that are going to go into downward dog, I want you to move into your downward dog. Those people, press into that child's pose. And we're going to do that one more time. Let the knees hover. Notice if this might be easier for you, possibly. And then re-straighten those legs. Take a few breaths here. Bending and straightening, loosening up those hip joints, loosening up the knees. Let your head sway from side to side, shoulders, breathing in and breathing out. And if you haven't done any kind of stretching in a few days, you might really feel a lot happening. When I first sat down earlier, I was in a very, very tight. Now from here, I want you to, for everyone, take a breath in and find your way as you exhale to the front of your mat, walking or whatever way you can get there, and come into your standing forward fold. Pressing into the inner edges of those feet, cradling the elbows with your hands. Knees are soft here or they're bent. Drop your head. Shake your head no and shake your head yes. Some of us feel better releasing the elbows. They're able, it's more comfortable for you, so you can do that. Little sways from side to side, loosening up the middle back, the hip joints. And then coming back to center, take a breath in, pressing into those feet, but particularly those inner edges of those feet. We need that when we're doing our, and then lift all the way up when we come into our trees, our standing balances. Reach the arms up to the sky. As you come up to the sky, interlace the hands, reach your arms up a little higher again, and then stretch to the right. Make sure you're not leaning onto your right foot and not your left. Press into both feet evenly. And then inhale, lift back up, and then exhale over to the left. Same thing here. Both feet pressing to the ground evenly. You're not leaning on the left leg and giving your right leg a break. Both are working together. Reach back up to the sky, sweep the arms back behind you, interlace with the unfamiliar interlace, slide the hands down your back. Lift your hands off your back and open up the chest. Another preparatory stretch for the tree. And then release the hands to your lower back, and then let's just roll down, all the way down to the ground. Let yourself come back into your forward bend. We're going to go through a few sun salutations to wake up our bodies. Inhaling halfway, exhaling forward fold, and let's inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. And then exhale, float all the way down. Hands floating out to the sides. Come all the way down, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Now this time, step your right foot back, lower your right knee down into your low lunge. You can always double up your mat if you need to support your knee. Reach your arms up to the sky, lift up onto that back knee or shin, and then rebend. Try and keep your left knee and ankle in line, and then release the hands to the ground. Step your right foot back, left foot back, downward dog, or that extended child's pose, okay? I'm not gonna keep saying that, but that's your option instead of downward dog if you're getting tired in downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Then take an inhale and reach your right leg up to the sky, or you can do this from all fours. Step your right foot between your hands. Help it if you need to. Lower your left knee down and reach your arms up, stretching through the whole front of that body and that hip. Lowering the hands to the ground, step your left foot forward, forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart. Inhaling halfway, pressing into the shins or onto the ground. Exhale, forward fold, and then inhale, sweep your arms all the way out to the sides. Lift up, lift up, lift up. And then exhale, float all the way down. Swan dive down, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. This time, exhale, step your left foot back. Lower your left knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up, low lunge. Exhale, lowering the hands down. Curl the back toes under, step back into your downward dog. Or that child's pose. Take a breath here, another breath, breathe in. And feeling the stretch through the backs of those legs, the arms. And then bring your right foot in just a little bit towards the left. And inhale your left leg up to the sky. Or come into all fours and step your left foot between your hands. Yeah? Lower your right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Oh, exhale, hands down. Curl the back toes under. Step that right foot forward next to your left foot. Forward bend. So some of us go a little slower. Some of us are faster. That's okay. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. This time, bring your feet together. Bend the knees. Come into that, this is a kind of a modified chair. Some of us will stay here. Some of us can actually lift your arms forward in front of your shoulders and sit down into a chair. Now, the other option, the higher level, so the highest level chair, is where the arms reach up on a diagonal in line with your ears. This is tough. I can barely talk when I teach this one. So feel the power of these legs as you squeeze in towards each other and then lift all the way up to standing. Woo. This is a powerful core strength in our hands to heart. Take a pause here, feeling in to your heartbeat. Maybe it's sped up a little bit. And then we rebend the knees. Now again, you come into your chair that's yours. Yours might be with the fingers on the ground, it might be with the hands at the heart, it might be where your hands come up again, back to where you were before, a little bit more of a intermediate pose, and then reach the hands back to the ground. Let's step back into your downward dog, or feel free to do that extended child's pose. Yeah? Let's inhale into your plank. Some of us will lower the knees down. Some of us will lift the knees up. Take a pause here. A pause does not mean doing nothing and not breathing. Breathe. Breathing it And breathing out. And then hinge forward, knees down or up, lower down onto your tummy, and slide the elbows underneath your shoulders. Options here to keep the elbows down on the ground, lift your heart. Or bring the hands a little closer, elbows off the ground but bent. Squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. Pressing the big toes into the ground, squeeze your bottom cheeks. So this is a cobra. And then lower down, slide the hands next to the chest, push back up, sit back into your child's pose. Slide the hands to your knees and come onto your right hip and then swing your legs forward. So this is one of my favorite stretches, preparing for the tree. Extend your left leg forward, bring your right knee into your heart. So into your chest. And then take your left hand, grab hold of that right foot, right hand on the knee. So we're doing this is called rock the baby. You can also, if you're quite flexible, you can place the knee and the foot inside the crooks of your elbow and do a little rock. Your left leg can go anywhere, it doesn't matter. And little rocks from side to side. Or circles, or both. Just if you're circling, do an alternate circle. So some of us, the foot might be quite far from your body, or your leg, because of hip things, situations with your hips where you can't get the foot that close, which is, nothing's wrong with that. You're just doing what you can do with the body you have, right? And then let's take that right knee, hug that right knee in. Do a little circle of the ankle, and then the other way. And then extend your right leg forward, and let's come into a forward bend. So you don't have to touch your feet. Take 2 breaths here. And then slowly slide the hands back up. Now you have another leg, right? Left knee into your chest. Take your right foot, grab hold of that foot with the right hand, left hand on the foot, and then you'll do a little rock. So again, some of us are quite far from our bodies. Some can bring your leg a little bit in, maybe into the crooks of your elbows, and then rock from side to side, and then maybe circles. Be extra careful here if you do have any things going on with your hip, any kind of injuries, or you've had hip replacements. You follow your body's messages. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it, or do less of it. And then take your left leg, re-hug it into your chest, and then extend your leg and fold over those legs. And then let's lift back up, and then cross your ankles, come back onto your hands and knees. So that you're going to start to feel this kind of freedom when it comes to your hip joints after you've stretched these things out. They get very tight, no matter, because we don't move them enough in these types of directions. Curl the toes under. Just press your bottom to your heels and walk your hands towards your knees. Keep your toes curled under. I know this is not the most comfortable position to be in. You wouldn't choose to do this normally, but I want you to stretch out the feet. And it does, for me, it's become a little bit easier over the years. But when I first started doing this posture, I couldn't hold it for more than a breath. So just let yourself stretch out those toes. See if you can get the baby toe involved, if possible. And then come back onto your hands and knees, curl the toes under, and then exhale, downward dog. And just do a little kind of shaking of the legs. Looking forward, decide, am I going to leap forward today or am I going to walk? Take a breath in. You don't have to leap, but if you want to, why not? Try it. Forward fold. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, I want you to roll up. Ragdoll roll this time. Lifting up, allowing your spine to unravel, unwind itself until the crown of the head lifts up. And then just take your shoulders and do a ragdoll back bend. Allow the arms to just hang behind you, or drunken back bend. And little sways from side to side, loosening up that spine if that feels okay for your back. Let your head roll from side to side. And then come up nice and tall. And now we're going to do our tree. We've pretty much warmed up every part of our body. Let's just take our right foot and circle it, loosen it up, loosen up the ankle. You can always use a wall to put your hand on. Same thing with the other foot, just loosening it up. Okay, so tree pose strengthens pretty much everything. You're strengthening your ankles, you know, your core. So what we'll start with the right foot. Place the right foot on the edge of your ankle, hands to heart. So some of us, this is where we stay. Some of us will bring the foot up a little higher, maybe but anywhere but the knee joint. So that might be the calf, or inside your left thigh. That's the highest point. Okay? Your hips are squared forward, so that might mean that your knee is not out to the side perfectly. It depends on your hip joints. So make sure you take your fingers on your hips, feel in. Are they pointing forward? They're not turned around, you know, to a side. Pull into the belly, squeeze your bottom cheeks. Hands to heart. Either one hand on a wall or a chair, or both arms reaching up. Soften the shoulders down. We're holding this for a few breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Whew. Inhaling and exhaling. And then bring your hands back to your heart and then lower that foot down. Now the left leg, the standing leg, just circle the ankle around. Notice how, that was, you know, there's a lot of pressure on that leg to hold you up. But as time goes on, it gets easier. So now we have the other leg. So right leg is your foundation, left foot open, so we call it a kickstand. So you open your knee out to the side, either on the floor, or the ankle, the shin, or the calf, I mean, or inside the right thigh. So you decide. Once you decide whatever it is, take your bottom cheeks, squeeze them as if you're trying to keep you know, something inside of it. You don't want to lose whatever's there. Sounds pretty gross, but please, that's a great visualization. Hands in front of your heart. Now make sure you're pressing into the inner edges of the feet, not just the outer edge. And then maybe arms reach up. Or you have a hand on a wall for a variation. If you keep falling down, use a wall to put a finger on. Let the shoulders relax. It's just hold, 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 hold. This is not easy. It took a long time for me to be able to do this. And notice how when we fall, we always fall on the outer edge of the foot. So that's why it's important that we work on the inner, you know, pressing inside and then release. Let's do some just figure eights to loosen up our hips and the ankle joints, the knees, shoulders. Just loosen up. Whew. Powerful, powerful standing pose, standing balance. One-legged balance. And then if you're not at the front of the mat, just come back to the front. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Let's exhale, forward fold. Stretch for just a moment. Feel that wonderful stretch in the backs of those legs. It's amazing how different you feel when you've worked all these areas in your body. kind of ironed out tension. Step back into a downward dog, and then lower the knees down and just press into your extended child's pose. You can flatten out the tops of the feet this time. Take a break here. Let the elbows soften now. So now it's a regular child's pose with the arms on the ground, forehead resting on the ground or on hands. And then come onto your right hip, walk your hands towards your knees, and swing your legs forward as we start to lower ourselves onto our back. So slide your bottom to your heels and lower yourself. Use every opportunity to strengthen your muscles. So rolling down, if you're flopping down, you don't really do much with your muscles, your tummy muscles, but if you roll down slowly, it makes a big difference. Hug your knees into your chest, bring your forehead to your knees and flex the feet. And then place your head back on the ground, open the arms out to the sides. Let's drop the knees to the left back. Let's come into our spinal twist. Bring your head and place your gaze towards the right arm, so turn your head towards the right right shoulders on the ground. If your knees are if your shoulder cannot touch the ground, your right shoulder, just bring your knees lower down towards your hips, maybe below your hips. This should feel really nice on your spine. Let the breathing return to its natural rhythm. And then pick your knees back up. You can either just hug the knees into your chest, or if you want to add the tummy toning and the back stretch, bring your forehead to your knees. And then open the arms out to the sides. Take your knees and drop them to the right. Slowly lower things down. Patience. Patience means slower. Turn your gaze to the left. Thinking before we speak. Patience. Listening to other people. Patience. As opposed to speaking for them or not listening. Filling in their sentences, completing their sentences. Patience is, if you have a problem, just take that step back for a moment and then come to it. I'm not the most patient person in the world, so this is definitely an important one for me to continue to work on, especially when there's a little bit of a upheaval or crisis. And then let's hug the knees in, forehead to knees, tight. I want you to tense every muscle in your body, and then lower yourself down and extend your left leg to the left corner of the mat, right to the right, the foot, and then slide the hands down next to your sides, about 12 inches, not 12 inches, 6 or so inches from your body. Palms facing up, close your eyes, chin slightly tucked, creating a little double chin. And let yourself remain in your Shavasana. This is the final resting pose. We do this in every yoga class, not just my yoga, all yoga classes, for about 2 to 5 minutes, especially with a 30-minute class, maybe 2 minutes minimum. And just let yourself relax, and I'm going to find my way up into my easy seat, my cross-legged seat, to seal the practice as you continue on with your Shavasana. And I'm going to bring my hands in front of my heart, sealing this practice. Thank you so much for being with me today. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. I will see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste, everyone.